Students, I am Dr. Shahana and we are studying the pharmacy practice. Today's topic is the contribution of the myocardial infarction. Myocardial infarction is an intermediate condition of a patient between the angina and the cardiac failure, and this condition is basically due to the generation of the atherosclerotic plaque that blocks the coronary artery. In the current lecture, we will discuss the calcium channel blockers that relaxes the arterioles, leading to the decrease in the peripheral vascular resistance. By decreasing the peripheral vascular resistance, they are responsible for a reduction in the afterload. Some reflex tachycardia can occur, particularly with dihydropyridines. However, overall, the calcium channel blockers, particularly verapamil and diltiazem, depresses the myocardial contractility, thereby reducing the heart rate and the force of contraction. All these conditions will result in the reduction in the cardiac workload and oxygen consumptions. Calcium channel blockers also dilate the coronaries, thereby they are also responsible for the increased blood supply to the heart through the coronary arteries. Furthermore, they are also reserved for the prophylaxis of the anginal attack. Just like beta blockers, they have a very good coverage. Furthermore, they are also helpful in the vasospastic angina, since they are dilating the coronary arteries and relieving the vasospasm. In short, we can say that they are preferred over the nitrates in vasospastic angina. If we go in details about the calcium channel blockers, we must understand the calcium channel types. So there are 4 major types of the calcium channels. First is the receptor operated channels. These channels are activated by the agonists like adrenaline, like noradrenaline, like angiotensin 2 and some other hormones. After their activation, they enhances the calcium influx into the cells. So they also promote the release of calcium from the sarcoplasmic reticulum. Second type of the cells are the voltage gated channels. Voltage gated channels are basically open when their membrane potential is changed, and they are very sensitive type of voltage gated channels. Whenever the membrane potential is dropped to minus 40 millivolt or lower, these type of channels are activated. L-type are basically long-lasting channels, and they are also called as the slow calcium channels. They are present in the cardiac, smooth muscles and endocrine muscles as well as neuron. Then we have the neuronal type calcium channels, N-type, that are mainly involved in the neurotransmitter release, while we have the T-type calcium channels are also present, that are fast channels that are responsible for the neuroendocrinal transmission, and these are blocked by the drugs like ethosuximide and fluranabazine. The most important type of the calcium channels that are present in the heart are the L-type, and it may be basically the blockade of these channels result in the change in the heart rate, and they have subunits of alpha 2, beta and gamma units. All calcium channel blockers mainly bind to the alpha 1 subunit and block the L-type calcium channels. Dihydropyridines, verapamil and diltiazem, they bind to different sites on the alpha 1 subunits. All calcium channel antagonists, they inhibit the entry of the calcium by blocking the L-type of the calcium channel. These CCBs, they bind to the both open and inactivated state of the calcium channels, resulting in the decreased frequency of the opening of the calcium channel in response to the depolarization. जब भी depolarization होगी, तो calcium channel will open and the depolarization of the cardiac muscles and the most smooth muscles mainly depend on the extracellular calcium into the cell through the calcium channels. When they decreases the current and when there is less entry of the calcium in the cardiac and smooth muscles, they will lead to the decreased cardiac contractility, decreased heart rate, decreased conduction velocity, and there will be the relaxation of the smooth muscles. We have two more types of the channels, that are the stretch, open or leaky calcium channels. They are mainly called as the small calcium channels, that in which the small amount of calcium leak into the resting cells. While we have another type, that is the fourth type of the calcium channel, that is the sodium calcium exchange channel. This can be operate in both directions, for influx and for exclusion. Mainly, calcium channel blockers block the L-type slow calcium channels. Calcium channels, they are mainly responsible for the depolarization of the vascular smooth muscles, SA node, AB node, and if we talk about the ventricles, the sodium current is mainly responsible for the depolarization. They are the drug of choice for the supraventricular arrhythmias, in which the main treatment is the treatment with the calcium channel blockers. While for the ventricular arrhythmias, we will manage the arrhythmia with the sodium channel blockers or with the defibrillator. What is the mechanism of contraction? Simply, the mechanism is very simple. Intracellular calcium, it will be bind to the calmodulin. This calcium calmodulin complex activates the myosin light chain kinases, and after the phosphorylation of the kinases of the myosin light chain, they allow the interaction between the actin and the myosin that lead to the muscle contraction. This will all happen in the smooth muscles of the blood vessels. If we talk about the contraction in the heart muscles, basically cardiac cells, in cardiac cells, calcium bind to the troponin. Due to this binding, it produces inhibitory effects of the troponin on actin and myosin that result in the contraction of the cardiac muscles. We have 5 classes of the calcium channel blockers on the basis of their chemistry. We have phenylalkylamines, that is verapamil. We have benzothiazepine, the example is diltiazem. We have dihydropyridines, that are nifedipine, amlodipine, feltopine, nicardipine, nimodipine, and we have diaryl aminopropylamine ethers, that is bepredil, and we have benzimidazole substituted tetralines, that is mivifredil. What you have to do, you have to check that which drug is mostly prescribed in case of the calcium channel blockers in the myocardial infarction and in the cardiac failure. आपने चेक करना है कि इनमें से कौन सी सबसे कॉमन टाइप है जो कि प्रैक्टिस में है, और आपने तमाम ड्रग्स के प्राइम नोट्स बनाने हैं. यू हैव टू इंक्लूड इन द नेम ऑफ दीज ऑल calcium channel blockers in the list of the prime. You have to rule out what is the difference between each type of the calcium channel blockers and which one is the most effective type of the calcium channel blocker. This is the simplest mechanism, that they block the voltage sensitive L type of the calcium channels. They have no effect on the receptor or stretch operated calcium channels, so the rest of the functioning of the heart will be remain as usual. They bind to the alpha subunit. They causes the voltage dependent calcium channels. This is the illustration of the voltage gated calcium channel, in which due to the change in the voltage, usually the calcium channel will open and causing the influx of the calcium. However, dihydropyridine, phenylalkylamine, that is verapamil, and amlodipine, all these block this type of channels. All CCB has a negative inotropic and conotropic effects. They decreases the coronary vascular resistance. Verapamil and diltiazem are cardioselective. They have a major effect on the heart, while nifedipine mainly affect the arterioles and dilate them. There is more chance of the reflex tachycardia with the use of the nifedipine that result in the hypotension or orthostatic hypotension episode, that is fall in the blood pressure. If the calcium levels are decreased in the arterial smooth muscles, they relaxes the or they causes the vasodilation. Vasodilation and arterial dilation, decreases the afterload, and they have overall no effect on the cardiac preload. Overall, they have tendency to decrease the arteriolar resistance, decreases the blood pressure, decreases the heart rate, decreases the cardiac output. However, there is no significant change is reported in case of the nifedipine in changing the venous tone. Most dihydropyridines have similar effects just like the nifedipine and amlodipine. However, reflex tachycardia will observe less as compared to in case of amlodipine if we compare it with the nifedipine. One important user is that verapamil and diltiazem, they also depresses the rate of the SN nodes and they also slow the AV conduction. So they are also useful in the supraventricular tachyarrhythmias. Furthermore, another newer calcium channel blocker, that is Bactridil, they have another effects along with the calcium blocker. They also inhibit the both potassium and sodium channels. So by this this drug Bactridil have negative inotropic effects and negative chronotropic effects along with the prolongation of the AV nodal effective refractory period, prolong the QT interval, especially in the presence of hypokalemia, and they can cause torsi de contis, that is a ventricular arrhythmia, which is a very fatal condition. So if a person has a tendency to develop the arrhythmia due to the conduction problem, then Bactridil is avoided. Taldopine cannot be used in the cardiac failure and angina pectoris because it has no effect on the heart. It has a greater vascular spasticity. While nimodipine is very much lipid soluble, highly lipid soluble, it is mainly reserved for the relaxation of the cerebral vasculature in case of the hemorrhages, in case of the stroke. The choice of the calcium channel blocker will be the nimodipine. Another calcium channel blocker is the clavidipine. It has no effect on the heart rate, no effect on the afterload of the heart. However, it dilates the arterioles. Furthermore, no effects on the veins or heart. It is mainly reserved for the severe hypertension. How calcium channel blockers are helpful in the myocardial infarction? There is a clinical data available that they reduce the incidence of post-myocardial infarction and arrhythmias, and they also responsible for the reduction of the infarct size. However, if there is a left ventricular dysfunction, calcium channel blockers in myocardial infarction will not be recommended. They mainly used for the secondary prophylaxis cases where beta blockers are contraindicated. This is all about the calcium channel blockers in the heart failure. Thank you.